With most, if not every state in the US being on lockdown, I've had a lot of time to sit back and reminisce on the past. I'm the type of person who doesn't look back often. I don't really care about the good old times and the experiences I've had as a kid. I'm more focused on the future and just like what's happening now in the present. So looking back at fond memories of my childhood has been pretty special to me, especially during these weird times that we're in. Video games have and always will be a massive part of my life. I've already made a couple videos talking about some of my favorite games from the past. Now it's time to talk about The Sims. This game series has not only changed a lot over the years, but I've personally played so many variations and versions of each series, it's kinda scary. The game that stood out to me the most, and also happened to be the first Sims game I had ever played, was The Sims Bustin' Out for the PlayStation 2. This game introduced me to the idea that simulators are actually fun and what a simulation type game is altogether. It was something completely new for its time and revolutionized The Sims forever. Before The Sims, you had SimCity all the way back in dusty ass 1989. Now obviously, with a successful game, naturally a company makes a metric ton more of the exact same fucking game. I will say though, SimCity 4 Deluxe was an oddly amazing game for me. That was one of the first SimCity games I ever owned. Didn't have a computer at the time, so when I managed to get that shit for $4 at my local Big Lots, I could only play it when I was at my grandma's on her old ass e-machine. Alongside the massive success of SimCity, The Sims surfaced early 2000 and started to destroy SimCity in sales. There was something about the style of The Sims, not only just the idea of simulating the life of someone, multiple people, or your fucking dog. The creativity, style, and just how the game felt and was structured when you're playing it made the Sims series so iconic for me. There's no other game or series like it, not even close. As SimCity started to fall over the years, clearly people just weren't into building shitty cities as much anymore. Sadly, the Sims series started to fall into this same trap as well. It felt like a new iPhone. Updated graphics, slightly more optimized, some new items here and there, and holy the DLCs. People just started to get bored of the same old game. Don't get me wrong, the DLCs were great. I personally loved The Sims 2, The Sims 3, Sims 4 series. The Sims 2 brought a whole new world to Sims and was personally my favorite Sims 2 game of all time. Asterix. I'll get back to that in a moment. DLCs from The Sims 3, like The Sims 3 Pets, was a massive upgraded rendition of the previously mentioned. It felt fresh and I was more than happy to see the added innovation to keep the game feel new and fun for me. The Sims 4 had been a solid game keeping the already high expectations at bay. Also, holy fuck, these are expensive, but the DLCs are well worth it. I even weirdly enjoyed MySims for the fucking DS. It feels like a weird crossover with Animal Crossing. Games, great. DLCs, pretty damn good. Wallet, crying, but it's fine. Now all that I've covered so far isn't even the reason why I'm making this video. For the most part, we've all known about the majority of these games. I really want to focus on these games that I felt were completely groundbreaking in the world of Sims. The Sims series was going for 360 no-scope ladder stalls on Modern Warfare 2, while these games went and butt-fucked their local anagram, The Herbs Sims in the City. This game was so out of left field, it broke a car window, bounced out, and still somehow managed to deck a bitch. I mentioned this in a pretty recent video, where back in the day games had a special twist for every platform it was released on. This was due to the hardware limitations each different device had. There's no fucking way a Game Boy Advance can perform and process the same game the PS2 can. Devs back in the day actually had to think, you know, use your brain and get creative. I know, it sounds shocking nowadays. Just copy, paste, make shit look good, empty meaningless maps, boring gameplay. Welcome to 2020, where Kim Jong-un is probably going to die, our country is beyond up, and everyone is just doing what I've been doing for the last 8 years. I'm going to specifically focus on the Game Boy Advance version of The Herbs Sims in the City, mainly because I don't have a lot of experience with the PlayStation 2 version, but also because while the PS2 version follows a similar theme, the Game Boy Advance version was so unique and different. It actually had a storyline that you had to progress through. I'm not saying the PS2 version wasn't bounds and leaps different from a normal Sims game, because holy I'd never thought I'd see half the shit I've witnessed just watching gameplay videos of this shit. Seriously though, in a normal Sims game, you are the creator, you're the storyteller. The only problem with that is most of the people getting their hands on these games are retarded. It's so different to have this type of urban city theme with a pretty damn good story, and by good I mean confusing as fuck. There are characters you actually remember and can appreciate through previous game experiences, even if they don't remember you. That's something most people can't do in a normal Sims game, is my point. Starting out losing the city you love, getting arrested and basically kicked in the ass with nothing, having to live in shit like it's Hobo Simulator. You have to slowly grind your way up, gaining rep with the locals, and not sucking dick at the pretty fun mini games to make money. This game brings so many aspects of The Sims and makes it its own. Maintaining human relationships with people is very important for the progression of the game and story itself. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I love how unique the game is compared to its bigger brothers. And you can ride a fucking hoverboard. The amount of secrets, features, and content this game has blew my fucking mind, especially when I was a kid when I first played this game. Holy shit, I almost forgot about The Sims busting out for the Game Boy Advance. I actually had to fill this in the script later. Notice the game's art style, the characters. I almost forgot this was the original game. They even have Daddy Big Bucks. This style, these characters, this type of Sims game continues on in the Herb Sims in the City, obviously, where Daddy Big Bucks is the city's outsider dickhead wanting to purchase the entire city so he can destroy buildings, rebuild them, just for the sole purpose of being able to charge people an entrance fee. Didn't mean to get off track, I completely forgot that the busting out for Game Boy Advance was connected to the Herbs game. Both really good games. I'd 100% recommend you experience it yourself. Speaking of connections, the Sims 2 series had a lot of games that bent the rules and said f you. The Game Boy Advance version is once again somehow tied to its successors, Herbs and Bustin' Out. The Sims 2 for the Game Boy Advance is like if you took a game idea and made it while on hard fucking drugs. Daddy Small Dick is back again, and he's wanting you to be in his fucking weird-ass TV show. You direct it by steering conversation, doing random shit, and making sure everyone else doesn't realize this is a fake-ass town and they're all being recorded and put on live TV. The episodes are completely random and ridiculous, to the point where I wish my life was that interesting. Pretty sure this is beyond illegal. Regardless, the game was fun. The Sims 2 Castaway for the Wii and the DS, yes, they're both completely different games. The Sims 2 for the DS and for the Game Boy Advance are all so absurdly different. It's how video game series should be, incentivizing people to purchase the same title on multiple platforms because of how different each version of the game is. It's genius. Having one big game idea and branching off that into different paths for each gaming device is a sweet treat no matter how you look at it. Sure, some games can be better than others. The DS version of this game is also really different and makes me question where all the creativity went for gaming nowadays. Sims 2 Castaway on both Wii and the DS follow the trend of I'm chilling on a boat because life's good. Oh shit, what the fuck? And now I'm stranded on a island. There's Castaway, where you actually have a semi-loose story you put together yourself, plenty of secrets, new items and ideas brought to the table that I never thought I'd see from a Sims game before, a small yet satisfying looting system, progression to continue your journey, and an ending. In the Wii version, you get to the point where you collect all of the technology, broken parts, a radio, and an antenna. Once you've repaired and crafted a working SOS signal, there's an actual ending to the game. You can either continue your life with your newfound monkey friends, or you can go back to reality where life is shit and you realize you made a grave mistake with all the fucking unpaid bills you've accumulated. Good luck trying to pay that with no unemployment. These gems felt like a single player experience I've always wanted from a Sims style game. It kinda sucks that games like these are hard to come by and just aren't even around now in 2020 at least. Remember the asterisks earlier in the video? The Sims 2 for the DS is like the Game Boy Advanced version. Fuck the left field. This shit is straight out of Compton with how random and out of this world this shit is. I'm gonna hang myself now. They both had a story that, in my opinion, was worth following and was fun enough to complete the entire game at the very least once. As shit got wackier, Game Boy Advance, DS, basically handheld portable versions of the Sims series, was like an alternate universe. You had the basic concept of The Sims, fundamentally built off a lot from SimCity, obviously. This game series is another perfect example of what it's like to have multiple creative paths you can take. The mobile, if you will, versions of these games took the foundation of The Sims, but added a fun and ridiculous story with characters you actually bond with over the years. Unlimited thinking while on LSD, and just a style of series I never thought I'd want in my life. Thank God it exists, and I'm glad to have had this as part of my childhood in gaming. I highly recommend you play the majority, if not all of these games I've mentioned, if you're even remotely interested in this topic and these types of games. Sorry this video took so long. A lot's been going on due to COVID being a thing. Tell me what you think about these types of videos in the comments. I really like sitting down and working on a project like this. Week-long videos, videos that should take about a week, not 2 to 3 have been pretty fucking fun for me, and I hope you guys are into it too. Not sure what else to say other than stay safe, buy my merch so I can pay rent. Probably gonna be moving soon. My lease ends August 1st, so I'm probably fucked. Oh, also, keep a lookout. A new series may be emerging to the channel soon, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe and all that fun shit. Bye.